All right, everybody, don't freak out. Gary is on his way, Kyle. Just relax. I'm Nick. I'm here with Brian, and we're just going to start talking about sports until Gary gets here. And then we'll still talk sports with Gary on Sports Talk with Gary.
Mm, this is a classic "Where's Gary" situation.
No, I think I know where Gary is. I think he explained it, but we're impatient. So, we're just
For our
here.
audience.
Yeah, yeah, for the audience. Yeah, just
Oh,
I'm here for them. I'm here to serve. Oh, wait, before I get yelled at. Can everybody please get here, like, and subscribe so that we can grow this thing so that Brian can hire the intern that he wants, right?
yeah. I have so many ideas, but I don't wanna pay for them.
Exactly. Like Brian has a lot of things that he wants done, and when Sophie Cunningham is his intern, then he can get all those things done.
Right. But
Right.
until then, I don't wanna pay or do the work to have it done, so I'm
Trust
gonna
me.
need some
I
wide-eyed.
Yes. She can do that point all she wants, but you better get her work done or she's out.
Right, right,
So,
right.
all right. I mean, do you want to take some time and talk about the WNBA?
Um, pass.
Okay, so Phillies?
Um, pass.
Pass?
No, no, no. So, you know what we can do? We can start with the Sixers. The Sixers schedule came out
Oh, okay.
this last week, right? So you can tell that the league clearly wants them in the biggest spot possible come the end of the season, the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they have 34 national games, which is insane. It's the maximum amount of national games you can have. They had this happen a few years ago when Simmons and Embiid were on the come up, but now it's like now because of LeBron and everything else. Then they also have the fewest amount of back-to-back games, which is never. They're usually at the top
Yeah.
back-to-back games, and the fewest amount of 3 games in 4 days. So, the league is like, "Look, this is an older team with a franchise player that has 1 leg.
Yeah. And
We gotta do as much as
yeah.
possible."
And they have the guy and they made all these moves, so it's time to pro wrestling this up and gimmick this up and send them
Mhm.
all the way to the finals.
Yep. We have LeBron, finally in a Northeast market and in a former marquee franchise, historically marquee franchise from years back.
Yeah.
So, we need to do everything we possibly can to put this team into position to at least be in the Final Four of the NBA next year.
So do you think that they have to do all this because the Sixers are losers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure. Just to make sure that's exactly why this had to
Yeah.
happen because any other time you put together like a superstar heavy team, like I mean, that's what this is, right? Like Tyrese Maxey can put up
Mhm,
50 a game. Joel Embiid, when he can play is exceptional, which is
mhm,
very few games, right? But then you have LeBron James and Jalen Brown. Like they're Jalen Brown is incredible. And so like you have like a super team and normally you would just let the super team go and win all the games and mow through the playoffs and win the NBA finals, be done. No, you can't do that with the Sixers because they're losers. You
mhm.
have to get them set up with like a nice cushy schedule. I didn't even know how true it was because I saw a bunch of like memes and stuff online today about the Sixers schedule as I avoid Avengers memes and trailers from now on. I had to come across that. I was like, oh, basketball. Gross.
Yeah, give me some WNBA talk.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's gonna be interesting because, I mean, Embiid is I feel like he's only played north of 60 games maybe twice in his career, and
And that
LeBron is
was years ago. So
yeah, and LeBron is averaging roughly around 50 games a season now because, he's 43 years old. So, yeah, you completely get it. So, I think the league is like, "Look, we need to prop them up as much as possible
absolutely.
and put them in a situation where we're gonna make as much money as possible, um, if we get these guys in a situation where we want them to be." So, yeah, I think that's very much league office shenanigans in the background. The other crazy story for the NBA today is the Lakers being sold. I don't know if you heard of this story about this mortgage insurance guy who
I
owned the Lakers.
I mean, I saw that they were sold, but I don't. I mean, do I care
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. So the Lakers, there's a guy, his name is Mark Walter. I don't know. I'm here's the wrong name. Kyle will correct me while he's listening to this.
Yeah. Cursing because Gary's not here.
Yeah. So he bought the Lakers, he bought the Dodgers, and he bought Chelsea Football Club, right?
Oh,
As
okay.
a multi-billionaire, with like a massive other groups of people. And the Trump administration 3 weeks ago was notified him like, hey, you're under an investigation because you're pretty much a massive Ponzi scheme. And so
Oh,
they were like, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. Sell everything right now.
yeah.
So that's what they're doing. Like,
Oof.
they sold the Lakers overnight to the former head of Disney,
Oh, okay.
Bob
Yeah, Bob
Iger.
Iger. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just sold Chelsea football team, which they're the Yankees of soccer over in, in England. And then this guy also owns the Dodgers. And if he sells the Dodgers, there's a rider in Shohei Ohtani's contract that says if he sells the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani becomes an unrestricted free agent and his contract's null and void. The funny thing about Shohei Ohtani is that his contract, 90% of his contract, his payments are all deferments for 30 years from now.
Right.
So, like,
is that like who was it? Barry Bonds that had that?
it was Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh
But
God,
it
what do you
was
want,
like,
Gobble? There's
Oh.
Cullen's here.
did you
Watch
tell him
out.
about a jersey?
Better. No, of course I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll give it to him at the next staff meeting.
I got the spot in the
Meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cullen joined a. So wait a minute. Hold on. First, to be a billionaire must just be incredible. You know what I mean? Like to just buy a basketball team because you feel like that's unreal. Oh, I'm wondering what this sound is. I can't place. It just started raining.
Oh.
So, yeah. So Cullen just got into, not just got into, but just joined a fantasy football league. Yeah, they're gonna have to shut this game down soon. Yeah. So Cullen joined a fantasy football, and I need him to win because it's an expensive league, and he doesn't have like a job. So like, I gotta buy him in.
No. Oh my God. Who's that? Is that
Oh, I hope
that
it's Gary for Kyle's sake. Please be Gary.
is that Gary Kravitz's music?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Dun, dun,
Can you hear me okay?
We can
Yeah,
hear
do
you.
have Can you hear my audio?
We got your audio.
We can.
Oh, is it? Okay, good. I thought it was going to be a
There he
Muppet
is.
Gary kind of day.
Yeah.
All right.
We thought you were
Thank
calling.
goodness.
I thought you were calling it from Jiffy Lube.
No, God, thankfully it's right around the corner. I love the hat, by the way.
$13 at Costco.
Very nice. I love anything old school. I love.
Mhm.
I'm just waiting.
Sorry.
I'm just waiting for you to break out an Andre Waters jersey with that hat.
Oh boy.
Hi, my friend.
Oh, Brian and his Costco hats.
From one piece hat grad to another.
So
Chain
Gary,
University.
we were going over a little bit. We kind of started without you because we got impatient and you know, we were sitting here staring at each other.
We got in some WNBA chatter. Care to join?
Yeah. I'm actually really shocked that Elena Deladon's a Hall of Famer.
Wait, hold on, Gary. That was a trick question.
We'll debate that another day.
Yeah, the answer is
we are
no, we're not talking about that.
We are not revisiting your one-sided rivalry with Elena Deladon. There's no way. The judge said we can't do that. You're not allowed to do that.
Like she didn't, but we know she would.
She was a great player, but is she really Hall of Fame worthy? I don't know about that.
Come on, you know her lawyers were monitoring this podcast.
Quite frankly, is Doc Rivers Hall of Fame worthy?
Oh, Jesus.
Yes,
That's for another.
but yes. Numbers wise, yes. Is he a
Yeah.
winner? No. Is he the
So-
perfect Sixers coach? Yes.
So we talked about the Sixers schedule already, but we didn't get into football yet. We're waiting for Gary. Before we
Yes.
do, we are going to make an announcement here. we will no longer post anything at 5:00. Usually it's Monday mornings at 5:00 that we drop on Spotify and Apple iTunes for the podcast. We won't do that. It'll be 5:01 out of respect for Jaden Daniels.
Oh,
Love
boy.
that.
Oh,
Love
boy.
that. How about Jaden Daniels focuses on winning football games after the year he had? Are you like it is absolutely ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, and I love that this kid is not giving up the number. I mean, at Penn State linebacker everybody wanted to wear number 11 after LeVar Arrington, so just absolutely ridiculous. Jaden Daniels focused on winning football games.
My only answer to that is there is only one 5
And he will
that I'll ever
always love you.
acknowledge.
He will
I will
always love you.
always is the only autographed 5 jersey I have, and this is the only one that will say there is one. It is Mr. Donovan Kurt McNabb.
Yep.
Mhm.
Syracuse University and Mount
Mhm.
Carmel High School in Chicago, Illinois.
Yes.
Jesus.
2000 and 2000 NFL MVP runner-up.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. So
And he got robbed that year. Got
he did.
robbed.
He absolutely did.
Stop
He did.
politics.
Robbed. Well, it's all
Stop
programming.
politics.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
at
right.
least that part.
Speaking of robbing people, let's talk about NFL preseason. All right.
Okay.
Gary.
Yes.
Okay. So Nick watched almost every single play. He has notes.
I do.
I watched Instagram reels and have no notes.
Yeah.
So here's hopefully in the middle, you have some notes.
I took a couple notes. I didn't watch. I must admit, I didn't watch every single play, and the game that I did watch, I was with the Ravens broadcasters, unfortunately, because I'm not there in the Philly market. But I did watch a little bit of the game, took some notes. So yeah, we could discuss. I guess I'll start with it was a kind of a snooze fest, but I'll start with the good. Number one, I mean, there's no significant injuries that came out of this, so that's always good. But I was impressed, Brian and Nick, with the O-line depth, right? So like where I'm concerned with 2 rookies, and we'll get into that in a second. Markel Bell, your 3rd round pick out of Miami, out of the U, as the cool kids like to say. I thought he looked really good. And I thought Drew Kendall looked good. Willie Limpkin looked good. They looked good in the run game. And the Eagles offense is going to be absolutely centered around the run game. And I know we didn't have Mulata and Lane Johnson, but you kind of had a taste of like kind of what they're thinking in the run game. I thought the run game looked good. I'm not saying Saquon Barkley's going to run for 2,000 yards. Like, it's never been done. We've never seen a running back go, with 2,000 yards twice in a season. But the success of the Eagles offense is going to be largely upon Saquon Barkley. So I felt really, really good about how they looked in the run game. I also, and just overall with the offensive line depth, the fact that Kendall and Markel Bell, and you still got Fred Johnson and Lumpkin, and so I feel good about the depth. And as we say time and time again with the Eagles, like the Eagles go as good as the O line is, as good as the D line is. I also thought the D line depth wise looked pretty good. Ty Robinson finally made a play after 3 years or waiting for him to make a play. So you saw a little bit of life there. Nick, I thought, I don't want to call him your guy, but I know you have high expectations as well. You should with Jahad Campbell. I thought Jahad Campbell and Trotter Jr. looked pretty good. So I felt good about that, and I feel good about the D line depth a little bit. Go
I
ahead,
got a
Brian.
question for you.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that Campbell played?
Am I surprised that he played? No. I think they really want to get a good look at him. I'm not. I mean, I'm sure Fangio is a fan of his, but no, I'm not surprised that Campbell played. I think he needs the reps, and I liked that he played, and I like what you saw out of Trotter Jr. as well.
Yeah.
And I just, once you get the starters in there, and we're gonna need the defense to carry us, I think early on in the season. I feel really good about this defense. As I said, they're young. The Woolen, I mean, obviously he didn't play, but Woolen has looked really good in training camp. We know what Mitchell is. I guess the one concern on defense that I have, guys, is look, and I hate to say it, but if you lose a Mitchell, it's gonna hurt. Just like if the Colts lose a Sauce Gardner, like it's
Well,
gonna hurt. But
we'll get into
I,
the bad and the ugly because they're kind of the same
yeah,
thing.
but
But
Nick, I am, man. I'm worried about the cornerback depth. I think Mac McWilliams will be your third corner. And he was a guy that I was kind of interested in coming into this camp because he's only going into year 2, and Fangio really, really seems to like him. And then Ringo is gonna make the team as a special teamer, and he'll be your fourth corner. Um, I just expected so much out of that kid when they drafted him. He's really been a disappointment for me. Anyway, hopefully we could get something out of him. But then some of those other corners, like probably like they traded for that corner last offseason from the Raiders. Like he's done nothing for them. I feel like with the O-line, for example, you saw guys that are obviously going to be second line starters, but you saw some promise there. And so far, at least for the first preseason game, I did not feel good about the corners or really the safeties.
It's funny you say that because talking about acquisitions, somebody who has been having a really, really good camp at that nickel spot has been that Michael Carter, the guy they got from the Jets last year.
Yeah,
And so they said he's been really solid, which really solid compared to what they had last year is a tremendous improvement, across the
yeah.
board.
I
I
mean,
think that's good. The one thing I'm curious about, like in the first game, is that for that linebacker spot between Campbell and Trotter. Now Trotter every year has come back and he's gotten better and better by leaps and bounds, right?
yeah, yeah,
But the role of that linebacker for what Kobe Dean was like a downhill thumper, right?
yes,
Against the run
yes.
and can blitz. And you wonder if for that role in this defense, if Trotter is the better fit for that role, and Campbell eventually is the better fit for Braun's role, where you're athletic, you read and react. Like
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see because Trotter came out of this preseason game looking really great too.
yeah.
So it's really kind of interesting when you look at it and you think like, well, that's why I was curious with Campbell playing because the safety Macumba, right?
Kuba,
Akuba. Yeah.
Makuba,
Coming off a
yeah,
serious
Makuba,
injury.
Makuba didn't play at all. So
Yeah.
like none of the other guys. So I just got out of that was defensively. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was really interesting seeing Campbell on the field because of last year. Like he played a bunch of games. He was impactful in a few games. Like he had
yeah,
just a
but
good rookie season. So
he's still not to say he's not a good player, but he's a disappointment because he's a first round draft pick and he should be an impactful player every week as a first round draft pick. Right off the bat, you thought he was going to be this really special player, and he's just not. Like, he's just a guy. He's just a warm body out there
Well,
sometimes.
I get it. In theory, though, like yeah, he's first round draft pick, but like the guy ahead of him was perfectly like he was a veteran. He's been in that defense for 3 years now. It was
yeah.
perfectly suited for that role that they, like absolutely impactful role on that defense. So I get why Campbell wasn't
I mean,
starting towards the end, right?
let,
But we'll see.
yeah, let's not forget Tua Campbell. I mean, obviously, he's got the sexy pedigree 'cause he came out from Alabama and was recruited by Nick Saban. But, you look at last year, like you have, Zach Bond coming off that too. Zach Bond's a really, really good linebacker. The Kobe Dean, again, he signed a monster deal with the Raiders like day one, and Campbell played only when Dean was hurt, and then when Dean came back, his role was not as significant. Both with him, I think with Trotter too. Like when Trotter gets snaps and plays, like he looks good, but it's primarily against like second teamers, and Campbell, he didn't play a whole lot last season once Dean came back. And again, like, let's not, and I get the whole first round pressure. Nick, I totally get what you're saying. But again, like, Brandon Graham didn't light the world on fire his rookie season. Like, there is a jump from year 1 to year 2. So by no means am I burying Jihad Campbell. And we'll see as he gets more snaps. And the bottom line is, boys, like, week 1 when they plays Washington 425, like, the bright lights are on and it's time to play ball, and we'll see what he looks like. But I think Vic likes what he's seeing, and I think Vic sees tools out of Campbell that he could definitely work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dick, to your point, it's a big season. I mean, it's year 2 first round pick, but let's see him get this opportunity, see what he does with it.
I don't.
He's a hell of an athlete.
The good that I saw from this preseason game was in a few places, right? The two guys on the O-line. So Markel Bell was good, but he's the type of guy that benefits from being an absolute physical monster, right? He's 6'9". He's over 300 pounds. He's just like, he's one of those guys where, because he's the biggest and the strongest, he doesn't have to be the best yet.
Yeah.
And so when he's playing second and third stringers and looking really impressive, that's good. He'll need polishing so that he can contend with first round ridiculous edge rushers like your Myles Garrett and your who's the kid from that I wanted from Max Crosby from the Raiders, right? Like, so he'll need work. Willie Lampkin, who I liked last year and would have loved to see up and playing when everybody was hurt, is a dog. He's a dog. Now I understand he's also playing second and third string guys, but he's driving linemen back into linebackers even when the play's not near him, because he can, because he's allowed to. So I actually loved that. I loved the quarterback, this Colt Payton. Looked really fun. Now, he's not a big guy. He's not going to light the world on fire. But could he come in and not ruin games for you? He might be able to. Like, he's not. Tanner McKee looked awful. Andy Dalton looked awful. This kid actually looked good. Again, he's playing nobody. He's playing guys that were working at Subway last week. But he looked fun.
He's not going to get significant sleeps this season.
Here's
he won't get snaps this season.
My huge problem with this is Trotter looked great. Like, I thought Trotter was, and not so much that he made all the tackles and sacks and stuff like that. Like, his numbers were good. They were good one-game numbers. But he was always on the ball. He was always involved in the play, which, like, just his reads and his presence was felt every play. Campbell looked good, but that was a situation where I was like, yeah, well, look who he's playing against. Like, he should be a starter playing against starters, and he's not. And so I'm totally, I'm giving him the Brandon Graham treatment, right? Like, Brandon Graham was not what we thought he should be for 2.5 seasons, and then he turned it on and he won 2 Super Bowls, and now he's on the wall behind me, right? So I'm Jihad Campbell's on his rookie deal. He gets his rookie deal, but, like, there's no patience for me with him after that. Like, he can't get paid.
No, Nick, that's fine. And the beautiful thing is, like Vic Fangio, shout out to East Stroudsburg University, shout out to the PSAC, shout out to Westchester University where I went. But Vic Fangio is going to play the best guy. Like, so if he really thinks Trotter's the best guy, he's going to play the best guy. And I thought in that game against Washington last year, where they had the win and they didn't win, I thought Trotter was really impressive in that game. To your point, Nick, he was all over the place. So, Fangio's not going to sugarcoat it. And if he feels that Trotter is the man for the job, he's going to play Trotter. He's going to play the better person. And much like in camp where you have quarterback battles and different position battles. Yeah. I think there's a battle looming here between Campbell and Trotter. Very well could be.
I totally disagree. I think the battle is over. But I think Jihad Campbell's going to come in and relieve Trotter in a in a kind of rotational.
Yeah, so he would be like a third down backer. Like a third down. Okay.
Which makes sense, right? If you're trying to get at the quarterback, third down, third and longs, I think he's situational. I just think, like, he's got better speed. He's got super long reach, right? His arms are giant, so he could be really helpful in situations like that. But Trotter's got it. Like, there's the football IQ, and he's got it. He's
Yep.
so impressive to
Yep.
watch.
Yeah,
Now,
the word is that he's very, very intelligent and football
Yes.
savvy in terms
Yes.
of Trotter. So,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Yeah, I
so
can see that.
there is something
and
very,
one
very ugly about this game, and that is the fact that Keely Ringo did just enough to get himself a spot on this team. Like, so much so that I don't think he'll play in the next preseason game. He had an absolute dog shit first half. And then at the end of the first half, he catches an interception in the end zone. That play was
Yeah.
very impressive. And I was like, I'm sitting on the couch like, son of a bitch. Like, now he's going to make the team. Just he makes an interception. He looked horrible. He's holding guys. He's getting penalties, like really stupid penalties. The ball's sailing out of bounds. He's grabbing a guy's jersey and they throw the flag. Like, he's awful. And then he makes an interception in the end zone by a quarterback who will never play a snap in the NFL. And all of a sudden, we get Keely Ringo for another year. Like,
Well,
I
here's
have
the
a
good news on Keely. I was gonna give you. Here's good news on Keely Ringo. He's in the final year of his contract, and so you won't have to deal with him next year. Um, but he was gonna make the team regardless because they think he's a great special teamer. So he was gonna make the team regardless. But yeah, Nick, I mean, to your point, like he just hasn't performed up to. I mean, they traded up in the third. I'm sorry, they traded up in the fourth round to get him. He was like the first pick in the fourth round. So like essentially he was like a third round pick and they gave up decent draft capital to get him. So yeah, no, he hasn't played well in his tenure with the Eagles, but he was going to make the team regardless as a special teamer. And if you look at you look at the cornerback depth they have, like they don't have great cornerback depth. So they're depending on him.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, go ahead, Nick.
just he's not a good like he is actually a really good special teamer. But there are guys in this league that just play special teams that do not get on the field. You know, we won a Super Bowl with
Right.
Chris Maragos on the team. He didn't touch the field if it was not special teams. Like that's it.
But he was a great special teamer. Yeah.
Exactly. Like and I don't
Yeah.
mind a guy taking up a roster spot to be special teams. I hate Keely Ringo. I hate him.
Yeah, I mean, again, like if they would have, maybe he doesn't make the team, but to me, he's definitely on the 53. He'll make it as a special teamer, and it's not like they spent a second round pick on a corner, So they really never, to my knowledge, even addressed a position to like push him. Like, is he, is there a chance he doesn't, Michael Carter the second makes it over him? No, they're probably both going to make it. They just don't have a ton of depth at that corner position. So he's going to make the team, but he'll be a special teamer. And I mean, if you see him in the regular season, it's not going to be good for the sole purpose. If he's playing in the regular season, then one of your big 2-3 corners are hurt, and that's not good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say was that if you get to a point where Keely Ringo has to be making, if any team is at a point where their fourth cornerback has to be relied on to be making an impact, I'm probably in a bad spot regardless.
Yeah, true.
I think
Yeah.
the one thing though, when you're talking about early picks, I think there's one theme coming out of this first game that's a bad storyline that nobody's talking about. That for me, I'm like, this isn't good, and that is one, their first round pick, Makai Lemon, has not been in training camp at all and missed
Yeah.
the last few OTAs, all from hamstring injuries. And
Yep.
then their second round pick, the tight end from Vanderbilt, who
Yes.
is
Eli
Sowers.
Sowers.
Eli Sowers.
Yep.
Completely unimpactful in training camp. And last night looked just apparently in the first game looked awful. Looked
Yeah.
hesitant, blocking was terrible, still thinking his way through the offense. Unimpactful. That is not gonna be great if your two picks this year's draft give you nothing
Yeah.
this year. You
Well,
know?
and, Brian, let me piggyback what you just said about Sowers too. So, I was just kind of reading different stuff, hearing different stuff, and I got to give credit where credit is due. But like Jeff Mosher basically said that he anticipates Sowers is going to be inactive. He's going to be inactive for week 1 and week 2. And like that's not what you want to hear out of your second round pick. Now
Nope.
again, like I remember in 08 when Brent Selleck was a rookie and he really came on late in the year, caught a touchdown pass against the Cardinals in that NFC title game. Like he came on late in the
Oh, it's
year
back again. Get out of
and
here.
did some really really good things. But yeah, like the fact that like clearly this kid has an issue, you know, they're working on the blocking. I figured they drafted him because he's supposedly like a great athlete. They would use kind of in that like I'm not talking off the field, but like an Aaron Hernandez type role. But the guy can't block, and the fact that he could be inactive for like the first 2 weeks of the season, like that's not good. And we all figured he'd be the heir apparent to Dallas Goedert. I mean, Dallas Goedert might he's a free agent next year, but he might just be signing 1 year deals every year if this gets out ready.
Seriously. And I think if
Yeah.
it's with Lemon,
It's a concern. It's a concern. And by the way, Brian, like against the Ravens, the Raven receiver was Lane, I think it is. He was drafted by the Ravens, and he had a great game, and he was like the other receiver at USC. So hopefully, Lemon will get healthy. Like we'll see what happens there. But yeah, no, it hasn't been good for either of those two first round picks so far. That's not good.
and it's really bad because you're like, okay, the OTAs were a few months ago, and he had soft muscle,
Yeah.
hamstring injuries, and now
Yep.
all of camp, hamstring injuries. Like, what are
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
doing? Why is
Yeah.
this? What is the story here? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Well, just
and
remember
like
those
I
things are
just
those things are so hard for these guys to get over because they're running. The running is what they're doing. Like they're running hard, and so they have to take a lot of time to get over these, and they all want to get back too soon. And a hamstring injury isn't one where a doctor can say you're not ready, you're not ready. These guys can
Right.
fool a doctor and get on the field, and it's too soon. So
And
I don't
look,
buy that. He's 20. He's 22 years old. I don't buy that.
and look, like
it's going to
he's
take us 6 years.
Put it out there. Put a
and
needle in there. Yeah.
and it makes me think of another former. Like, look, he's been compared to Amon St. Brown. Like, I hope he's Amon St. Brown, and I hope he contributes this year as a rookie because you need him to. But Brian, like, remember Nick, that old Eagle receiver Dante Stallworth? Like, he was an absolute burner, Dante Stallworth, and he would have great games and catch touchdowns, and then he'd pull a hamstring, and then you wouldn't see him for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
that's my biggest fear with this kid.
and
Well,
and then
That story.
the biggest
and
problem you
and the
have is that you have Devontae Smith, who's also dealing
yes,
with like a slight hamstring issue, but
yeah,
thankfully you don't need him to play because you know what he is and what he can do, right?
right,
Dontavian Wicks is your number 2
yeah,
because Lemon can't go, and Hollywood Brown, as fun as it would be to have like a Deshaun Jackson 2.0, he is not Deshaun Jackson 2.0. He's not even
no,
close. So like you're kind of you're a little stuck. Now I think the Eagles are going to go really run heavy this year. So I don't know that I don't know that you need 4 bodies out there running routes every single play. Like I think
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
2 back sets, 2 tight end sets, and just go from there. Like I don't know how big a deal it is that like I mean if your first round draft pick can't go, that's fine. Hollywood Brown, it's like whatever. I mean they have this Darius Cooper who's a nice player. He needs
yeah,
he needs work. He did not have a great game. He had
yeah.
a
That
lot of stuff
Nick,
hit him in the hands.
that was the disappointing thing for me is that basically throughout training camp we've heard Cooper's had a nice camp, Wicks has had a nice camp, and then in the preseason game, like we just never saw any of that, and I actually like Darius Cooper. At least I liked him last summer. So I have hope for him. But again, he's undrafted, and against the Ravens, we never saw anything from Wicks or from Cooper. Of course, and going to quarterback real quick, Tanner McKee. Remember when he was like, "Oh, we could trade Tanner McKee for a second or third round pick"? I
Missed
mean,
your
those
shot.
days are gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
He still has fans. He still has fans.
He has 1.
Yeah,
He still
Right.
has fans.
Right
They
there.
might be in
Okay.
the Canadian Football League, but they're there.
Right.
You know. I gotta go back to one thing though. We were talking about earlier with Markel Bell. I'm really curious about. I don't think anybody plans on Lane Johnson playing 16 games this year, right? Based
right.
on age, and I wonder if they put Bell in at right tackle or they put in Fred Johnson, right?
Yeah,
Like I would
yeah,
think like I wonder if they redshirt when you see Bell play, you are like, this guy is a monster. He's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
monster.
Bigger than Mulata, boys. He's bigger than Mulata.
He looks like Eric Williams.
Yeah.
Like, he is just a
He's
monster.
so big.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you're just like, I wonder, you'd love to see him out there during a game, right, to see what he can do. Because just some of these, the clips that Baldinger was putting up on Twitter,
Yeah.
Baldinger was he was drooling talking about
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
the clips.
By the way, too, Brian. I mean, Baldy said the same thing about. I mean, Lane. Even though this is probably his last ride last year, like he still looks phenomenal. And I wonder if the guy I'm worried about is Landon Dickerson, because if he gets banged up and if he can't go, like, what are they doing at guard? Like, would they put in like a Drew Kendall, or they like to cross train these guys? So Nick also, maybe your guy, Limkin, or I call him
Lampkin,
Willie,
no.
just call him Willie.
Yeah, Willie.
Maybe would Willie go into guard,
No.
because
Willie Lampkin's a
you know,
center. There's no way
okay,
at his size they're going to put him at guard. There's just no way. You don't.
they are
He's just
okay,
too small. He's undersized. And
okay,
centers can be undersized now because they can be quick, and they can
right,
and because they're undersized, they're lower, center of gravity's low, helps you come out of your stance from snapping the ball faster. Like, it's actually helpful to be a little bit smaller. But that being said,
well,
you can't put him at guard. I think what in my optimal view would be to, if you had a lot of injuries on that O line, I would put Fred Johnson in at guard as a more seasoned player, as a guy that's got a couple
yeah,
seasons under his belt. I would move him to guard. If you had to also replace a tackle like Lane Johnson, and I would have Bell in at tackle, and I would just have a tight end on that side so that he doesn't get tricked by a savvy defensive end and
yeah.
just
So
run the ball.
So wait a
I
minute.
think
Wait,
I
I
think
didn't
they
realize
really
that they didn't upgrade their interior line, like their
like
their second unit.
no. So what they're gonna do is if Dickerson were to get their first guard off the bench is gonna be Kendall. I mean, I know they drafted him as a center, but they're proxying him a guard. They love him a guard. He put weight on. So he would be the first guy off the bench to play guard. I do think they would keep Johnson at tackle. But yeah, I mean, look, if you could guarantee me that Landon Dickerson's going to be healthy and play 14, 15 games, then I'm really excited for this season. But after last season, who knows? Now supposedly he looks good, but I mean, we'll see. But again, I think Kendall would be the guard.
Well,
Two more. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Brian. Get it out.
Two more points from training camp. Yeah, well, there's 2 points for the night are the positives, and one is that Orth looked really good in camp.
So far, yeah.
And
Yeah.
they said he looks like he's leaner and faster,
Yep.
which is such a credit for him. And
Yeah.
two, that the defense has just been annihilating the offense.
Yeah.
People said the defense looks like a machine out there.
Yeah.
Like it's like everybody's third year in the scheme. They know who they are. They know what their roles are. They know what they're doing. Like,
Yeah.
all look phenomenal. And those, above everything else, I think those are the two things that you want to hear coming out of camp as positives, right? A
Yeah.
lot of improvement physically with Hurts, determination with Hurts, and then at the same time, the defense just looking completely absurd. And I think it's
Yeah.
and you think it's also good for the offense too, because you're like, if they're practicing against the top defense every week at training camp, when they don't have to face the top defense, it's gonna feel like a walkthrough,
Yep.
So I think it's great.
If you play fantasy football, you draft them where you want to draft them. Don't overdraft them. But if you play fantasy football, take Saquon Barkley this year. I think he's going to have a bounce back year, and they're going to run the football. And I think the play action game with Hurts under center is going to be effective. Look, I'm not saying it's going to be this effective, Brian, but I got, memories of the 1994 Penn State offense with Kerry Collins and Kajana Carter and Bobby Ingram and play action under center, and they score a touchdown every minute.
Are you serious? Are you saying this team's going to Pasadena?
But
Are they going to Pasadena to play the Ducks, buddy?
Well, they scored a touchdown on the first play of the game there too. Um, no, but I am excited to see what Hurts does under center, and I think this new offense and this whole thing with Mannion. Hopefully, this will work out. I think he needed this. Um, but I was gonna ask you guys actually how how effective do you think the fact that AJ Brown's not there anymore? How does that impact him mentally? You know what I'm saying? Like positively, I'm sure positively, but just the bottom line is AJ's not there anymore. So just what's your thoughts?
Yeah, AJ Brown was a supreme pain in the ass for Jalen Hurts. He was just not only was a pain in the ass to Jalen Hurts, but he was a pain in the ass to everyone. And then Jalen Hurts had to then hear about it because that's his guy or was his guy. So it was just an enormous headache for him all the time to have AJ Brown around.
So two things that come out of this is one is that the national media said that AJ Brown was considered the Steve Jones of the Eagles locker room last year. Divisive, egocentric, toxic. Nobody wanted to be around him. Very surprising. I was like, okay. And then two, they said without him in the locker room this year, locker room is completely different. There's not this stress. There's no tension.
Yeah,
Everybody's just fun about doing the job. Very professional. And I think it goes a long way to say like, I think this guy was a problem, and if he was a problem, I think that doubles down on just how good of a coach Nick Sirianni is. Is that the guy could go to a Super Bowl and go to a Super Bowl and then win a Super Bowl
With
with
Steve
this
Jones.
guy, with Steve Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, just tearing the team apart. The guy just I'm like,
Not showing
This
up
is
for
just-
sports
this
stuff
is
with
crazy.
Gary and stuff like that.
Let's
Yeah.
throw it
it's
out.
just- yeah.
just
Going to
crazy.
Ireland in
But yeah.
August.
well, I don't.
No.
The one thing I will say is I don't think Steve Jones was a Tanner McKee guy, and maybe Steve Jones is right on that now. I don't know.
We'll
let's-
see.
let's-
We'll see. We'll
Hey,
see. It's a
hey,
we'll
hey.
see.
Relax.
Hey, winners write the history. Okay, Gary?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that,
who's gonna-
that battle isn't over yet, pal.
But seriously, who's gonna win? Because who's gonna? They're one snap away, right? Who do you see winning that QB2 battle?
You know what's honestly, to be perfectly honest, I thought that Andy Dalton was coming just as a camp arm,
Yeah.
but it seems like because his familiarity with every offense ever created in the last 25 years, because
Right.
that's how long he's played. It's almost like you have another coach in the coach's room and
Yeah.
with the players. And I wonder if they value that more than having Tanner McKay. I wonder if maybe they try and move McKee before they cut down day for like a 6-round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
One last question that came to mind for me. So when they play Washington week 1, where's Cooper DeJean playing? Safety?
Safety. Yeah.
He will play safety in the base package and then nickel in the nickel package.
Okay.
He's not
'Cause
playing
I
outside corner anymore.
Do they have enough there at safety?
Yeah, they do.
You're okay there?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
We're gonna have to be.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think
Can
I don't think that there's one other. Well, I know we've been screaming the show now since the show started. Extend Alex Hunt tomorrow. He's
Yeah.
destroying people in camp, and
Yeah.
he looks like the embodiment of Trent Cole all over again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he's perfect for this defense.
And
Perfect.
I want him to
So-
keep shooting that arrow in the sky and getting fined. So, Kel, who said they would pay all his fines? Was it Kevin Hart? Yeah, I think it was. He did it in the
He
Super Bowl.
shoots
I
an
think he got
arrow?
Yeah, because he's the hunter, Alex Hunt. And so if he gets a sack, and they find him because it's
Yeah.
like a weapon.
For Brian, a couple on another podcast, Nick and I had a spirited debate about who the Eagles would eventually future wise keep and go, because they're not I don't think they're going to keep Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith. One's going to stay, one's going to go. And I thought I said they're going to keep Jalen Hunt. Nick was taking Nolan Smith's side. I mean, we'll see, but I think again next off season you're gonna see, barring something crazy, you'll see Mitchell get extended, you'll see DeJean get extended, and either Nolan Smith or Jalen Hunt. And I believe it's going to be Jalen Hunt.
Yeah, I think your core going forward is Mitchell. I think they'll choose these guys over any other defender and anybody else on the offense, honestly. But I think your core, your team is Carter, Davis, Mitchell, Cooper, Hunt.
And
I think
and
that's
you,
it.
and, you, and to Nick's point to start the podcast, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he keeps progressing. Maybe Trotter Jr. gets something. Maybe they throw something his way.
I mean, maybe, but he's not getting paid top market. You know what I mean? Like, we
No,
won't
no,
give him
no,
those bottom
no.
extensions. But yeah, there's. I think if they're you have guys that they're not just good players; they're special, and they're you know what I mean. They're considered the best at their positions in the league.
Yeah.
And so and in that case, you have to do whatever you need to do in order to keep those guys. Right?
Yeah, and that's why they're gonna be quiet right now when it comes to money extending people. And in the background, Howie Roseman's, or not, well, both, but Mitchell's agent is writing down, oh, Witherspoon made this much.
Yeah.
Gonzalez is gonna probably make this much because he's gonna be the next one up next year. Quinion
Yeah. Like,
Mitchell.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're like, look, we'll tear down the entire offense and then also work something out with Hurts where we'll do an extension, but he's got to leave money on the table
Yeah,
and then rebuild the entire offense through the draft while this defense carries them. But I think their core is these. It has to be. You can't. Mitchell and DeJean both are they're so
Yeah.
exceptionally talented at their positions, and
Yeah.
then Carter's an absolute freak of a defensive tackle. So
Yeah.
it's got to be. But yeah,
yeah.
I don't think Nolan. I think Nolan Smith. The sentiment is they're very disappointed in regards to Nolan Smith because last year should have been his breakout year.
Yeah.
He got injured again, then he was
Yeah.
ineffective again, and so they're like, "What are we doing?" Right? So they usually don't like these rookie contracts to go all the way through.
Right.
The fact that they haven't talked extension, there hasn't been any mention of extension, nothing, and they're just riding this deal out, I think says a lot to how they view Nolan Smith.
No, I agree with you, but I also remember what Nolan Smith did for them in the playoffs when they won that Super Bowl. But yeah, I think right now, I think Jalix Hunt's in the lead to get that extension because I just don't see the both of them getting extended.
Mm-mm.
I think it's
I
maybe one or
agree.
the other.
Yep, I agree. All right, what else we gonna do? We gonna talk WNBA? Are we good?
No, no, we don't need to do that.
I mean, Elena Deladova. I mean, that take was coming in hot. It
Yeah,
was coming hot on that one.
yeah,
You know?
very, very, very on top of it.
Eladon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just remember, guys, it is preseason. I remember one year when the Eagles went up to Green Bay, first preseason game of the year with DeMarco Murray and Sam Bradford and Chip Kelly. And they scored, I think, on their first 4 possessions, and it was 28-0. And people were talking Super Bowl, and they didn't even make the playoffs that year. And I believe that was Chip Kelly's final season in Philadelphia.
Hey, I mean, there could have been, let's not crap on Chip Kelly. You know what I mean? The team just had a couple of breaks not go its way. Like, their quarterback was made out of Fabergé, number one, among
Yeah.
other things.
Right.
Oh, and they also traded their top running back for a one-legged linebacker. Too.
Yeah.
Probably didn't help out either. But what are you gonna do?
Nico Alonso, I don't
Yeah.
miss you.
And they traded, and they got Kiko Alonso, and they traded LaShawn McCoy.
Not released Deshaun Jackson.
Yep. Yep.
Chip Kelly took a whole flamethrower to that whole team.
And truth be told, guys, I will say after his first season, when they lost that playoff game to the Saints and it was a competitive game, I really thought either he's going to be fired in 3 years or win a Super Bowl in 3 years, and I really thought he was going to win a Super Bowl, and boy was I wrong.
Yeah, I think we're all wrong. But what's so right is having you back talking Eagles
Yes.
football because it is
Welcome.
that type of year, friend.
It
Right?
is that time of year.
So we are going to be
This is-
doing. I think we're going to do preseason game recaps,
Okay.
and then as we get ready for the regular season, we're going to do we'll get back to our Friday recordings, so we can drop for Saturday,
Absolutely.
so that everybody, mainly just Kyle, can hear all our takes on what's going to happen this week in Eagles football and around the league. And we're going to get some wild card takes again. We're going to get back to our regularly scheduled program here, people.
Okay. Love it.
Gary,
No,
Gary,
football season.
tell the people they have to go like and subscribe, please.
Yes, please like and hit the subscribe button. We got fans. We want more fans. We want a sellout crowd. So
Yeah, we want partners. We're all partners in this. We need
yes.
you.
We want
Yes,
Gary's
so-
name up on that marquee.
Absolutely.
hit the like and
We can't. Yep, we can't get it there unless you subscribe.
Can't do it by ourselves.
so
people.
hit the like and
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
okay,
All right,
sounds
fellas.
good.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Nick.